Welcome to the dark. I collect stories people don't want to tell. Some are real. Some should have stayed hidden.
You buy a cheap smart TV on a Friday, and by Saturday night, you're already looking for the receipt. At exactly 2:13 a.m., soft voices drift from the living room. You walk down the hall expecting a television left on by mistake, but the screen is filled with a thick, shifting static. Shapes move inside the noise, resembling figures standing behind a heavy wall of fog. You unplug the machine and go back to sleep. But the next night, at exactly 2:13 a.m., it happens again. A blue light casts a glow across the floor, illuminating the heavy black power cord that remains completely disconnected from the wall. The screen displays Channel 999, a station that shouldn't exist. The broadcast shows a grainy, poorly lit security feed of an empty hallway. When a figure walks through the frame, you recognize the carpet and the door. This isn't a distant signal crossing wires. The television is capturing a live, impossible perspective of the hallway directly outside your apartment. The figure on the screen stops, turns slowly, and stares directly into the lens. You're looking at a digital recording of yourself. By the third night, the camera angle shifts inside. The broadcast is now coming from the upper corner of your living room ceiling, a vantage point where no physical camera is mounted. The screen shows a recursive loop. You sit on the couch, watching the television, which shows you sitting on the couch, watching the television. Then, the version of you inside the TV breaks the cycle. It looks up at the unseen camera and whispers, "He's watching now." The boundary between the observer and the broadcast has vanished. Every room in your apartment is now a functional film set, with you as the unwitting lead. You shove the unplugged TV into a closet to hide it. At 2:13 a.m., the darkness behind the closet door echoes with hundreds of overlapping whispers. The television has switched to channel 1000.
The camera pushes slowly across your bedroom floor, taking a voyeuristic, step-by-step approach toward your bed. But the bed on the screen is empty. A tall, motionless figure stands over the mattress. It looks almost human until it turns toward the camera and smiles. The broadcast begins to fracture. The numbers climb rapidly: 1001, 1002, 1003, and each channel shows a different fatal future. One shows police tape around your door. Another shows your photograph on a memorial table. The device is no longer just observing the present. It is documenting and pre-recording your inevitable end. The remote stops responding as the channels surge into the thousands. The screen flashes through alien cities beneath black oceans and buildings stretching into a permanent darkness. A clinical narrator begins playing archived surveillance footage of your entire life. It shows you as a child walking to school and as a teenager eating dinner, all recorded from angles you never noticed. The narrator describes previous candidates as the screen floods with thousands of faces. These are the people who simply vanished from the real world, the stars of canceled broadcasts. Look at this digital UI overlay on the screen. The viewer counter is ticking past 8,400,000. There is a massive live audience watching you right now. The chat log is filled with instructions. They're telling each other not to mention the ceiling. When you finally look up at the ceiling, you see dozens of physical eyes embedded in the plaster, blinking back at you. Your entire life, from your first steps to your current panic, has existed as data for a demographic you cannot see. You aren't navigating a life, you are fulfilling a production schedule. The countdown timer hits 0. The lights go out, and that tall, smiling figure physically manifests in the room, standing directly behind you. The television flickers one last time, displaying a season finale card. The camera on the screen pulls back from your apartment, flying past the city and retreating into the void. As the camera pulls back, the stars aren't light years away.
They are pixels on a curved glass surface. Earth sits inside a captive terrarium, encased in the frame of a massive television screen. This screen is one of millions. An impossibly vast gallery of monitors stretches into the cosmic darkness, each holding its own isolated reality. Reality is a localized broadcast, and the universe functions as an endless network of channels waiting for an audience. The smiling figure behind you explains the cycle. Every world requires an audience, and every canceled show requires a new star. The broadcast officially strips away your status as a spectator with one final message on the screen. Out in the darkness, millions of cosmic televisions turn in perfect synchronization, their screens swiveling to face you. From somewhere beyond the glass, a voice whispers, "Smile, your life." The final transition is complete. You have moved from the person watching the screen to the person inside of it. The viewer has become the broadcast.